Hey guys, Havoc here. Gonna do some commentary for this 3-mark session in the E50. I've been meaning to 3-mark the E50 for quite some time now. I've just kind of left it sitting in the low 90s and went on to do other things, and I knew I'd come back to it. Here I was just playing one game to kind of see where I stood on my mark, um, and it ended up that I think at like 91.5 to 92% somewhere. Ended up having a really good game, so from that point on, I decided to just do a 3-mark session. I didn't really plan on it, and as a matter of fact, it only took me 6 games to go um, from that sub 92% to 95%. So it was an amazing series of 6 games. I wish I had saved all the games. I didn't. I didn't plan on doing it. It was kind of an impromptu session. I did record the last 2 games of the session. So I'll be able to show you those two, and I'll do commentary because I was playing solo. Here we are on Highway. Great matchup. You have to take advantage of these when you're in an E50. You're top tier. There's only a few tier 9 tanks on each team, and all of theirs are heavy tanks. So I went field for several reasons. One being there is no artillery, which is really great on this map to go field. Otherwise, it would be very difficult. I did find their T10 over here, which was a little surprising. I thought that the tier 9 heavy tanks would stick together. I am trying to avoid the VKB and potentially 2 tier 10s, T10s, maybe working together or something like that. So I didn't go city, although that is an option when you're top tier in an E50 like this. This tank does kind of play like an E75. I could go side scrape off of a building or something. But I went field instead, and I'm just trying to make quick work of the field here so that I can get through and hopefully flank their heavy tanks when they go through the city. So you can see my team didn't really go city at all. They're all behind me. In this situation, I'm leading the pack, so I'm definitely going to push even harder than I already was going to push, just because I know I have so many tanks behind me, and they are going to put out a lot of damage, so I want to get damage first. And if our whole team is out here in the field, that means there's nobody in the city, so we really can't afford to just kind of sit back and hide behind cover. So I go after this T10 right away. I remember it doesn't quite go as well as I want. It's pretty messy, actually. I bounce, trying to just shoot at him right there, going straight at him. I'm kind of like trying to give him different angles and wiggle. Now he wants to do some face hugging, and E50 armor, guys. Especially when you're top tier and you're not against a tier 10 tank, this armor can really do amazing things. I'm a little disappointed that I wasn't able to hit his cupola there, and now I do finally get penned by him from the front. So, like I said, that was pretty messy. And it gets a little dicey here for a second. Just trying to clear out the field. There's a lot of tanks at different angles from me, which is going to make it hard for me to use my armor. I'm trying to get up here.
Base, dude.
And I do take what that guy just said as a warning, because I do realize that they're in the field, and they do have an ISU 152 who I really don't want to get hit in the side by. That's pretty unlucky. The Tiger 2 comes around the hill and ammo racks me from the front. I track him in a bad situation, and I was gonna leave him there, but the medium tank, I think it was a batch head, probably reloading, he just like drives right by, and then I go ahead and track him again. So get some good assisted damage there. This is where the bulk of my damage comes into play. Their tanks didn't really have anything to do in the city, so now you have a full health VKB who's driving out in the middle of the field, giving me away his side. He's just looking for damage, so I don't really blame him, but I'm definitely going to take advantage of the sniper gun here on the E50. There's tanks to my right, but the way I look at it, you're not going to get the side of a VKB very often, and you want to take advantage of that. From the front, this tank is a really tough customer. So I'm going to try and get rid of him while he's in a vulnerable situation. I can take care of the Panther 2 and the Pershing later. I light him on fire. That's pretty lucky shot right there. Okay, so now he's done. I can go take care of these other guys who... Yeah, the Panther 2 lost some health probably while I was farming on the VKB, but... We're just in cleanup mode now at this point. Yeah, I've lost a good amount of health, but at the same time, it's an E50. I mean, the armor at top tier like this, it will bounce a lot of things. Try to put a little bit of wiggle here in my tank. Definitely going to show you guys the ramming capability. If you look at that, I took, over a third, probably maybe half of his health, and I only lost, like 200 hit points or something like that. So the whole ramming with the E50 thing is definitely real. I have controlled impact on here, and I was going quite fast going downhill. So that's just showing off some of the ramming capabilities. Definitely one of the perks to this tank. That plus the armor and an incredible gun make it the best tier 9 in the game, in my opinion. It is the most powerful tier 9 tier for tier, in my opinion. If it's in the hands of a skilled player, it will completely dominate a tier 9 game. I'm trying to now snipe a little bit on this T10. Now, looking at my HP, I'm quite aware of the fact that I'm basically a one-shot. So not exactly looking to run out in the middle of the field and get hit by him, especially when I'm getting side shots on him from here. Just kind of hoping he continues to back up, which he does. And just trying to get some final damage here. Would like to not die. It's not really the end of the world when you're trying to free market tank if you die, as long as you have a good game, which clearly I have had a good game. Bounced off the motherland. I could have gone for the ram there, but especially since he shot me right before I went to ram him and he ammo racked me, that it definitely would have cost me my life to ram him, although it would have been a lot of damage and felt really good. I elected to try and just shoot him instead. So that's going to be a really good game. It has to be a good game, as I said. When you get that matchmaking, that matchup, no artillery to go field, you have to take advantage of it. If you're not doing this kind of work in an E50 when you're top tier, you have to work on your game. You have to work on your E50 game. I think I jumped at least a % here with this game. Yeah, I'm at 93.8. I'm pretty sure I was somewhere in the high, either at 93 or high 92s before that game. So that's a big game, especially the assisted damage is huge. And this tank has great view range. It can definitely get assisted damage. It has an amazing sniper's gun, which is very good at tracking. So you definitely have to get assisted damage if you want to get marks on this tank. Now looking at this game right here, I was not very happy looking at it to start. There's 4 artillery. That's just with this op that we currently have running, that has been artillery. We only have 1 artillery, so it's not like it could say, well, you know, I'll go spot for our artillery. It's like, no, you get spotted, you're going to get hit by 4 artillery in platoon, and if we spot their tanks from a distance, you know, we just have our 1 artillery unit, that's it. So I'm not really sure how to play this. This spawn is at a huge disadvantage when it comes to the K-line. I won't go K-line from this spawn because it's so easy for us to get spotted on the inside of the hill. I know this because I usually do the spotting from the other spawn. So I won't go K-line. I go with the heavy tanks up here. I'm still really concerned because usually a light tank will crest this hill up here, and they do have a light tank in their 4-man arty platoon, and I don't want to get lit and then have 4 arty shells come after me. Here's the RU spotting for his 4-man platoon. And we get lucky. The bat chat on our team gets way ahead of him, and he's at the hill waiting for him, so he scares him off. So he pulls back, so we don't have to have that torture of our whole team getting lit coming up here and then just watching explosive rain come down on everyone. But what is going to happen is basically the new meta for this map, and it's too bad because it really ruins the map, which is that their spawn rarely comes up here to fight. They will just kind of sit back and try and snipe, which doesn't very much work for them. And when it doesn't work, then they will just spot for the 0 line to snipe at us as we come up. So to push any further than this, I feel like is just way too dangerous, and is exactly what they want you to do. So I usually won't at this point. Once I see that this is the strategy that they're going for, I'll turn around and go back to base. And that's what I'm going to do here. Luckily, I'm in a medium and not a super slow heavy. If you're in a heavy, you're kind of in a really tough spot because to go all the way back, and then you're going to get, maybe get lit and shot from the hill. So I've decided to, in a medium, I can just speed back. I don't want to go rushing right into like the city area or where this Tiger 2 is, because once he's lit, he's dead. I mean, they're all sitting on the 0 line, K line area, waiting for tanks to be lit so they have something to shoot at. I mean, they are grueling for a tank to do what that Tiger 2 did right up there, and now he's dead instantly. So, I'm going to try and be real careful, keep some kind of hills and cover, do some dank fuck aerial moves for you guys. But, yeah, I'm really conscious of what's going to happen if I get lit. So, here's the RU who's spotting for his team. I put one in him, but now that I'm lit, I'm definitely going to try and look for some cover. I find this spot to be right here is pretty good for, especially when you're talking about the fact that there's still 3 artillery left. I guess one of them got killed. It may be countered. But over here, I can use this hill as cover. And I do have the sniper gun, so I can hit these guys from long range, although I did miss there. There's a T-54, but...
Looks like that one went right through. Focus on this location.
Had to lead that target pretty good. Now we have 2 E75s trying to come down into our base. I mean, this is a great situation, especially for me going for marks here, to be basically behind cover and kind of farming on tanks that don't have the view range capability. I hit his turret there. As you're going to see, I go back-to-back turret shots on him. So here he repairs that turret, and then I instantly hit him in the turret again. Now you get to watch this awkward look on his face as his turret is cocked to the side, and he's running for cover because he knows he can't fire back. This brave RU, actually, it's not brave. It's an extinct player, so it's not even bravery at this point. Or no, it's it's the Nino guy from for his artillery team. Yeah, extinct Nino Venom. At this point, I'm just trying to keep Artie safe, and I've had enough of the RU, so I go after him, and because of that, I end up doing this tank flip right off the rocks. Definitely not intentional. So, I've had enough hiding. It appears that the game is pretty close, and that their strategy isn't quite working the way they wanted it to, and I'm here to like kind of spring the trap. I've done a good job conserving my HP so far, and it's time for me to use some of it, and as you're going to see, I'm going to use a lot of it. Here's a Bat Chat, one of my favorite players to kill in the game, Polar Cap. Known for his messages and his cheeky Bat Chat play. Yeah, I don't like Polar Cap at all. So I'm going to chase him down while he's reloading. He's got his turret trained on me while he's trying to drive away, but he is not going to make it. If anything in this game, I'm going to make sure that I kill Polar Cap.
Enemies got us in their sights.
It's getting a little bit dangerous here. Their team is definitely a tank advantage, and I have now driven into their spawn.
Enemy vehicle eliminated. They've spotted us.
There's still 3 artillery out there, and there's a T-10 spotting me, so I'm basically trying to get out of here now. I got pretty far into the idea of killing Polar Cap, so I didn't even really think about the fact that I had basically wandered into their little web over here.
The enemy knows our location.
So now I have a full, I mean, their team, what can I say, it's full health T-10s. You're going to see basically everything on their team is full health still. I guess they were just camping base so hard. But I'm mindful of the artillery at the same time. Me and this T-10 are going to have to go to blows. Trying to get like a good armor for angle here. I was thinking about trying to side scrape off this, but as it turns out, I want to get a good look and see where the T-10 is actually going. If he's running, if he's trying to go up the hill, I don't know what he's thinking. As it turns out, he is coming right for me, which is actually better off this way. So me and the T-10 are going to do the Tango. E50 armor. Awesome. Now I get hit by artillery, and that's definitely a problem here. It's not going to be a 1v1 between me and this T-10. That's the problem. He's got 3 artillery tanks that are looking to help him out here. So we're doing some trading. Now a full health 263 comes up behind him, so I'm pretty much thinking this is the end of the game. You have artillery, you have a tank tier. That was most definitely a lucky bounce on the 263 here. Plus, he also rams into me and loses track. So now I've got a non-turreted tank destroyer that's sitting here tracked in front of me. He just auto-aimed and rushed me, and he shot it into my upper plate that was at an extreme angle, and I got it was pretty lucky for me that he bounced. With that being said, he's a full health 263 who's playing in the back of his map, and then he's trying to drive straight at me and auto-aim fire at the same time. So, you know, bad players be bad, and then they die, and they deserve that. So, the heavy tank is found to be way up in the north side of the map. I'm really concerned of the 3 artillery that are still, you know, sitting back there in platoon, so I've decided that it's more important for me to get their artillery out of here, and then we'll deal with an E5 that I can outspot from a distance and come up with some kind of interesting sniping procedure for him. But right now, I'm just thinking, man, if we can get these 3 artillery out of here, we win this game. So I get the task of trying to go spot and therefore dodge artillery, but I get kind of lucky here, and I'm just going to out-view range them. I think I hit a fence post or something there, but apparently my waffle's down for the plan because he's watching over the area too. So now all I'm going to do is just kind of slowly crest this hill, and as I do that, I'm going to spot all their artillery. I think their 1 artillery is trying to shoot tracers here. Yeah. He's like, well, it's from there somewhere, and I'm not going to light the guy, so I might as well take a shot. Okay, so artillery's out of the picture. Now it's me and a waffle, who I believe is very, very healthy, against a E5. Someone from game chat is marking that we should go on cap, and it's a very viable actual option at this point. If the waffle and I decide to go on cap, we do win the game hands down without a question. With that being said, I understand it's an E5. I'm not down for capping. I'm trying to get 3 marks on my tank. I'm pretty sure at this point it's going to be close. Actually, I don't know. I mean, I have a 1.2% to go, so I'm really not even thinking that it's possible to 3 mark this tank from this game. But I know I'm having a great game. I know it's going to put me really close. I want to get more damage. Not to mention, I want to win the game, and I think we can easily win the game here if we do this correctly. So the waffle's on his way back to cap. I'm on my way back to cap. I know I can outspot the E5 all day long. I have great view range, all the view range skills, and coded optics. So my thinking is I'm just going to light this guy and let the waffle farm him, or vice versa, and it's not going to be a problem. Yes, I agree. We could go to cap together, the 2 of us, and win the game. But that's not how I choose to play. The E5 is going to make this very difficult for me, by the way. He's just going to put the jukes on. He's just constantly moving, as E5 should, and I give him credit. There we bounce. Now he's turned his armor towards me, I guess, which is smart, but at the same time, I mean, the waffle can really hurt him. So I think the waffle's probably lit. He's very much focused on the waffle. I was able to pen the side turret of the E5, which is notoriously hard to pen. But I am shooting the APCR at him at this point. Trying to catch him through these fence posts or whatever is over there. There's definitely other things. And it ends up the waffle gets him. So, good game. I like the way we finished it. And I'm glad we didn't cap. I know we could have guaranteed the win by capping, but I think we had the advantage there, especially because I think the waffle is full health. So, huge game. Second ace tanker in a row. Really big game, and that will be 3 marks. So that did do, 1.2% damage standing right there. E50 is an amazing tank in the right hands. It can be the strongest tier 9 in the game, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the short session. I wish I would have taped all the video clips, but all right. And that's 130 games for a 3 mark. I think that's pretty good for a tank that's notorious for damage.